If you've ever poured a candle and found a little crater near the wick or down the center after it cooled, you're dealing with what's called a sinkhole. Let's talk about what causes them and which waxes are more prone to this issue. Sinkholes happen because wax shrinks as it cools. If the top of the candle hardens before the inside has a chance to settle, the center contracts and forms a cavity underneath. That's what creates that sunken look around the wick. There are several reasons this happens. First, it could be the temperature you're pouring at. If you pour your wax too hot, it can cool too quickly on the outside and trap air or leave space in the center. If it's too cool, it might not fully fill the container or level out. Either way, improper pouring leads to problems. Another reason is your environment. A cold room, drafts, or even a cold container can speed up cooling on the outside, again leading to a hollow center. And if your wick shifts during the pour, that can also cause uneven cooling, which contributes to the problem. Vigorous stirring can also introduce air bubbles, which get trapped and eventually rise or collapse as the wax cools, causing small sinkholes. Finally, not doing a second pour, also known as a top-off, can leave a dip around the wick as the wax contracts. Now let's talk about wax types and how prone they are to this. Paraffin wax is one of the worst offenders. It shrinks significantly as it cools, so you almost always need a second pour with paraffin. Soy wax is also prone to sinkholes, especially if poured too hot or in a cold environment. It doesn't shrink as much as paraffin, but it still needs careful handling. Beeswax, on the other hand, has very little shrinkage. It's dense and slow to cool, so sinkholes are rare. Coconut and apricot blends are a bit more forgiving, with smooth cooling and better container adhesion. Palm wax tends to crystallize and shrink as well, so it can cause surface cracks and holes. Gel wax is another one that's really tricky. It needs to be poured slowly and at the right temp, or you'll definitely end up with sinkholes and bubbles. So what can you do to prevent sinkholes? Start by preheating your containers to slow down the cooling process. Make sure you're pouring at the correct temperature for your wax type. Lower temperatures are usually better for reducing shrinkage. Pour slowly and steadily to avoid trapping air. Stir gently when adding fragrance oil, and after the candle sets, use a heat gun to smooth out the surface or fill in any small holes. And don't skip the second pour. After your candle cools and you see a dip or hole, reheat a bit of wax and top it off. That final pour seals everything in and gives you a smooth, professional finish. If you haven't settled on a wax yet, I recommend cocoa apricot wax to avoid these problems. If you are new to my channel, I am Kimberly Patterson, and I teach candle makers how to sublimate and engrave their candles so they will stand out and sell. Hey candle artists, help me spread the word. Share our YouTube channel with your fellow makers. I believe every candle artist should have sublimation and engraving in their creative tool chest. Let's build a community where candles become art. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for sharing, and I'll see you next time on The Candle Artist Way.